Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Football Retro Podcast. I'm your host Johnny, and today I've got Ak and Fadi. How you doing, guys? How you doing, Akram?
Yeah, I'm doing well, doing well. A little discombobulated though, a little confused.
Is that because of your hair? Because we were all confused when you walked in.
No, just we had a plan. We had a set, four-person structure, and then last minute, we lose our fourth. Hey,
That's the fan that he came in a ponytail and refused to attend. That's the rumor going on.
Just for gay pride.
Pride month is over.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's whenever you want it to be.
How you doing, Fadi?
I'm well, thank you, Johnny. Feel like I've just been told off since I got here, but
Isn't that
How
the
when
usual?
does that ever
it's fine.
happen to you?
It happens all the time. As soon as I get in here, there's always something being pointed out about me or what I didn't do
Fatty
or
and his
what am I
victim
going to do.
victim complex.
Isn't that the usual, but
Yeah, I know.
you and your victim mentality?
It's not a victim mentality.
Is it because you're black?
100%. It's not a victim mentality. It's factual.
Speaking of victim mentality, no, I can't say that.
Who the fuck? Whose phone keeps fucking vibrating? Is
That's
that you?
Akram.
Fucking
Probably a Darcy's wearing it in. We're just talking about England finally winning a trophy. What's wrong? What's wrong, Fatty?
It's coming home, mate.
He came home.
It came.
Listen, I've just got one thing to say about this. I was happy for them to win it. Firstly, it's the women's Euro, so I'm just like, whatever. I was indifferent. I watched here and there a little bit, like just highlights. Knew that the tournament was on. I assumed England would make it to the final, but one of the better nations. Between them and Germany, obviously they ended up winning the final. Good for them. It didn't bother me. Usually if England won, it would annoy me because they just overhype everything and they think they're too good. And I was like, you know what? Good on them. They won. Then afterwards, when I saw the footage and I saw during the press conference, the manager was sitting there speaking post-game and then the whole team squad comes in celebrating, which is fine.
Yeah.
But they celebrate with the fucking song. Football's coming home.
How does it go, Fatty?
And then I said, you know what? Fuck these bitches. Fuck women's football. I hope the fucking stage collapses.
Because of that song.
Yes, fuck them and fuck women's football in general. That's it. I'm not watching it ever again.
Wow.
Fuck
Whoa.
England.
What's women's
Fuck
football?
and fuck the Queen.
What's
The Queen
women's football got to do with England?
and the song.
Because they won it and then it's fucking been...
Just like the men's football, like they
I
just
really can't. I was so angry today when I saw it. I was fucking angry. And then for some reason, I watched it again. I don't know why. It
God,
just-
you got issues,
it
man. I
made
gotta
me
tell you.
angrier. It made me angry.
You needed that stimulus.
Yeah, I did work harder today though when that happened, but so maybe that was what it was.
So it's the first time England win a final without illegal goals. Where's Neil when you need him? I'll get him back next week.
I need a drink after that.
Crack it open, Fatty. Crack it open. On that note, let's just get straight into it.
Welcome to the Football Retro Podcast.
The word welcome, I guess, is stretching it a little when you're an Australian in a place like this today.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
Fatty has not stopped swearing in this whole break.
It pissed me off, bro.
He's still
So
angry about the
annoying.
song.
So
Why does it anger you so much?
Bro, it was so frustrating. So I was saying to Akram, because I use it as a tool to laugh at England. So when they carry on about it and the media carries on about it, during the Euros, England thought they were going to win it and they didn't, they fell short, then you can fucking laugh at them and take the piss. But now they actually won something and they're carrying on about it. So it pisses me off.
You just can't take the medicine that you've been going back at him this year.
I'm noticing they're fucking annoying. And at least more it's the fucking women. Like,
Look, it's not that I
that.
disagree with you. I totally agree. Like I thought, like I just said to you, was I thought England and English media would have learned a lesson last year when they preordained England as Euro 2020 winners and all that. I thought it's a bit of a joke. They got to really get over it. Newsflash: football was not originated in England.
Ooh.
It's not coming home. It
Where
was
did it
never
originate?
home.
Oh, stop.
Where did it originate?
Controversial call there.
What do you mean controversial? Why is it controversial?
Well, explain yourself.
Okay, I'll explain myself.
Historian. Here we go.
Well, football, as a game with a ball that's been kicked by, has been around for, a long, long time, like 1,000 years kind of thing. Like it's very basic origins as, you can take it all the way back to like, ancient Greece. Like to be to
But the game of football itself originated in England.
or like in terms of organized association soccer, not exactly. Like yes, you know, in terms of the structure of the leagues and the teams and saying let's make an actual sport out of it.
But the rules themselves,
Some of the rules were, but it's just, you know, what do you philosophically say? Like for me, any sport, any game that was built with
Splitting hairs, but I like it.
okay, go on.
any game that's kind of like any basis of which, you know, two, three, four people, two teams, organized a game in which you had to kick a ball. To me, in essence, it's football. And if they've been doing that pre, English times, I just think it's like stop hyping it up.
Okay, so according to you, let's settle this right now.
You need to update Wikipedia then.
It's not England that originated football. Which country can claim it?
It's hard to claim because history.
Give me
is so,
something.
I did.
Some people kicking a ball around.
I did.
2, 3, 4.
The Mexicans.
The Aztecs. Yeah, no, the Incas.
The Aztecs had a form of.
Yeah, they did. But you can
The fuck are they
literally.
kicking around a banana skin?
No, I think it was pigskin, maybe, like leather.
It's haram.
Anyways, regardless, it's
Haram.
the
Anyway,
Mexicans. I don't care about haram.
no.
So he was
But
like
like I
the
said, you
Greeks.
you could date like any kind of
Don't
game
start
all
with
the
the
way.
Greeks.
The
Then they're gonna
Greeks
start talking about
invented
Euro,
everything.
Euro 2004.
The Greeks
they
invented
never
everything.
fucking-
What was coming home, right?
If you give football to the Greeks, there's nothing left in the world that they can't claim.
Look, like I said, it's the same thing as like, you know, many different foods. You know, there are a lot of arguments that, you know, Italians didn't invent pizza. It's, you know, because any form of dough with sauce with vegetables on top, is that not fucking pizza?
Wow. Okay.
So
So
he
who
invented
started
pizza.
it?
You know, many people believe that.
The Greeks.
I wish I was gonna say that. No, many people believe the Chinese did.
Chinese.
Would you eat a
Look,
Chinese pizza?
It's not about eating it
asking you a
now.
question.
No, you dickhead.
Would you
Don't-
eat a,
don't-
would
I'm
you
not
eat a
that
pizza made by a Chinese guy in Chatswood?
You're an
Would
idiot,
you?
mate.
Okay, let me dumb it
Let's
down.
call it Strathfield.
Let me dumb it down. Would you eat a pizza from Domino's Chatswood?
Listen, I do not.
The
or
answer
would
is no.
not. No, the answer is no. I wouldn't. But that, what does that have to do with
The origin.
600 years ago, you idiot?
All right. So far, in the last 3 minutes, we've established that the Greeks invented football and the Chinese invented pizza.
And
I
that
think I
we're
better stop it
racist.
now
And that
before.
we're racist.
For an American, I'm surprised he hasn't claimed America to invent everything and perfect everything. All right, let's jump on the topic today. Obviously, a lot of seasons starting next weekend, this weekend coming up, next couple of weeks. Let's take our crystal balls out and be brave with some predictions for the season, for the year. Looking at the transfer windows so far, looking at the hype around some teams, some players, some coaching changes. Let's start off with the Spanish league.
Well, this is going to be an interesting discussion then, because Fatty usually likes to sit on the fence whenever these predictions come out. Oh, top 10, top 8, we'll see.
I said we're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And everyone started to fucking
I'm
hammer
not
me.
talking about Arsenal, dude.
Everyone started to hammer me because Arsenal started doing well at some point
And you were still unhappy about it.
because I knew how it would end.
All right, let's start with the Spanish
I would
league.
have rather we fucking came 15th
Then come fifth. Yeah, that makes sense, guys.
than to fuck up the last 2 games of the season and
Okay,
fucking
right.
lose it out of the top
Let's
4.
start with the Spanish league.
We'll get to that.
Akram, I'll go to you first.
Okay, so Spanish league, I think it's been really, really interesting. I think Atletico Madrid have kind of disappointed in this transfer window, and I think it's kind of gone back to something that feels very, very common, and very trite, which is Barcelona and Real Madrid have had fantastic transfer windows so far. Barcelona apparently with on a dollar budget, with their press briefings being on on an iPhone, apparently have had one of the best transfer windows of top European football.
And getting rid of people like Braithwaite.
Fucking
Yeah.
Braithwaite. This is
So
real
it's what do you
fucking
call it?
Chelsea.
It's an addition by subtraction.
What are you going to say?
I heard that they need to offload De Jong to be able to register Lewandowski or
Oh my god!
what's his fucking face?
What's his fucking?
Rafinha.
Rafinha.
Isn't that just like Barcelona though?
Ricky Puig is leaving. MLS are after him. For a young player, it's surprising. LA Galaxy
Big money.
are knocking on the door. Braithwaite's definitely leaving as well. So bit of a clearance by Xavi there. I don't know the hell PK's doing because of personal problems and
Yeah, because
everything
Shakira's
happened.
fucking dancing on someone else's dick.
Well, he fucking cheated on Albion.
Well, but back to my point when we had that episode, footballers, professional footballers at this level, shouldn't get married until their careers are over, finished. Because it's too tempting when you're traveling, you're away, you're constantly away from your family. Very easy to fucking stray. They want to worry about that shit. It's a headache. Focus on your fucking career, bang bitches, and then fucking worry about it later.
Atletico Madrid, apart from Molina,
Yeah.
who else did they?
Honestly, I don't really know. I know they've been still trying to chase after Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that's a bit of.
Were they
still in the
chasing after him,
pipeline.
or was he offered to Atletico and
I think a
they
bit of
rejected
both.
him?
No, I think a bit of both. But I just think that they've probably got to make the finances work. I think Cristiano Ronaldo probably had a little cold feet.
I just
because
can't.
of the controversy.
I can't see Cristiano fitting into the Simeone scheme.
No, exactly. So he probably had a bit of cold feet. His management probably had a bit of cold feet. Not only is it not exactly a good fit tactically and with the coach, but also what kind of reaction would he get from Real Madrid fans and hurting his social media platform and his investments and all that stuff. So yeah, but besides that, I've not really heard much from Atletico Madrid.
So top three contenders, obviously Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico. We expect Atletico to finish third. That's my prediction.
Really? No, I'm thinking Sevilla will finish third. I think Atletico will drop down to fourth.
That was my next question. Which surprise team?
Yeah.
Sevilla, you got your Betis that did it last year.
Yeah.
Sociedad can knock on the door.
I think Villarreal will have a good crack this year. Bit of stability and fucking what's his name's had a good season, had a good run with them last year. The Europa. I think they'll do well this year. Bit of stability. His stamp, he'll stamp his style on the club there and been a bit quiet under the radar. And I think they'll do well.
So we've got the top 5 or 6 right there. Sevilla, Villarreal. Hopefully Valencia step up again.
I was thinking of Valencia, but I don't know.
No, not
very
at all.
They would have fight at the top, but you
No
want
way.
to be more stable than last year where they were fighting relegation.
Exactly. Yeah, you wanted to try to hit or float around top 10 or
Yeah.
10 to 11 place.
Hopefully, if Sevilla win the league, that'll be nice for.
It would be
the
really
Spanish
good
league.
for the league. I just obviously a year ago, I think that the conversation was a little bit more likely, but this transfer window has shown that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Prediction for you, the winner.
Oh, Real Madrid! Come on, guys, let's not be silly here.
I think Barcelona will pick them this year.
Oh, of
They'll
course.
surprise with a couple of shrewd signings. No one's expecting much considering the
Antagonists over here.
haphazard season they've had. Pardon the pun. But I think they'll give it a good shake. It'll be a lot closer than people think. It'll be a lot closer than last season.
Yeah, 100% will be.
100% is it?
100% will be. I totally agree. It will be a lot closer. You certainly would hope so after bringing in Lewandowski and all these players that they've brought in, haven't they? But
Bit of stab there.
to who? To Barcelona.
Who did
yeah.
Real Madrid bring in this season?
Tchouaméni from was it Lille? Really top player, CDM, box-to-box player, another player to fill in for Modric and the like over in the midfield. And, Antonio Rudiger is going to be a massive signing for him.
Yeah.
That's a big
That is a
centre-back.
big signing.
I think the biggest concern for Real Madrid's window, though, is that they have not been able to find someone to fill in for Benzema throughout the entire season.
And look, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a transition year for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Modric getting older, Cruz getting older, Casemiro still doing well, but fitting in with new players. Benzema, I assume, will still have a good season. World Cup year as well. It's going to be a break in the middle.
Yeah, true.
That's a big factor. My prediction is just to change it up from last year, Barcelona to come, which is a big credit to Xavi if that happens.
It would be. They've bought really well. I think like a top 5 transfer window for them. I mean, Andreas Christensen, Rafinha, Lewandowski.
So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Next question. By how many points do you think Bayern Munich will take the German league?
So that's becoming ridiculous now. It's a shame because the German league's actually good to watch. It's generally exciting and there's generally goals.
It's good to bet on.
It's great to bet on.
We have to bring that back. Fatty's bets.
Yeah, I've been asked not to. So I
But
don't know.
who?
Outside forces, people that have influence on this show, apparently.
Are you influenced that easily?
Influence on this show, not on me.
Why do you make
I'm
a-
independent.
Why are you making shit up for me?
I'm independent.
Just a babbling brook of
Look over your
bullshit.
shoulder, Johnny. I don't know. Yeah, it's disappointing because the German league, like the Dutch league, is very, very interesting. Always exciting. Good quality football to watch. But
So the real question is, can Dortmund challenge this year?
yeah, it's disappointing that Bayern just seem to pick the best players from their rivals, and that's how they sort of win the league by destroying their opponents rather than just being,
Yeah.
than on the pitch.
Unfortunately, I don't see it. I think if anything, they're gonna be in for a tougher season than last. They've lost Haaland. The replacement for Haaland, Sebastian Haller from Ajax,
Injured.
he's been diagnosed with testicular cancer. So who knows when he'll be back? And he was their chief signing, especially for the attack. So, and Bayern have strengthened dramatically. So, De Ligt from Juventus, massive signing for the defense, and Sadio Mane. So I mean, to be honest, I think they're going to be in a shout for the Champions League, let alone Bundesliga.
Good call. Serie A.
Yeah, Serie A.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, honestly, I think you could make an argument for 2, 3, 4 different teams, really.
Or you think both Milan teams will challenge for it again, like they did last season? The defending champions in Milan holding the base and pretty much the whole squad. So you think they'll do well again this year? Inter bringing back Lukaku.
Yep.
It's starting to become interesting now,
Yes.
which is nice because when it was just that
The Juve
that
monologue.
Juve monopoly, it became boring, right?
Yeah, and it hurt the product.
Yeah, 100%. But now that you don't know, and there's more than one option that you could give it a real shake, now you're interested to watch and say, you know what can these teams do? What can these players do that have come in and how they've strengthened their respective squads? So
We'll see what happens with Pogba and Di Maria at Juventus as well.
Has Pogba not he's officially met?
Yeah, he's playing already.
He's all
Yeah.
playing and everything, right?
I'm very interested to see how Roma goes this year.
I think Roma will give it a very, very good shake in the top 4 this year. I think.
Once again, if Roma end up winning the league,
I
that
don't
would
think
be
amazing.
that would be amazing.
Look, it'll be a stretch, but if anyone can do it, it'll be Mourinho's management and his style and how he can, bring the best out of players.
And I think if there's
Dybala might have a good season.
Tell
as
me
well.
a part of you doesn't want Roma to win the league just to hear the press conference afterwards from Mourinho or the comments afterwards from Mourinho.
The shit.
Has anyone seen his latest tattoo?
No.
He got tattooed the 3 trophies: the Champions League, the Europa, and the Conference League. And he goes, "I'm the only person that can do this." Only he can do that.
Honestly, honestly, if Roma was to do it, I think they are the most likely out of any of the league to do a big
surprise.
100%.
Fiorentina,
horse.
Atalanta.
Oh, no,
Your
Fiorentina.
favorite term.
Fiorentina's on foot. Sorry.
Your favorite term, dark horse.
I think they're they're a dark horse, but I think they're the most darkest of the horses out there.
Are you got to say that in day and age?
Very racist, bro.
No, I do see them in for a good shout, only because Milan have really struggled with the transfer season. It started off promising, but they still have not been able to secure Renato Sanchez. They haven't sorted out their right wing, the attacking midfield section. I was surprised, no new striker. They didn't end up getting Dybala, which would have been a fantastic signing for them. And no Renato Sanchez, and they lost Frank Kessie to Barcelona. So I think, as much as I would like to see Milan continue building and do well, especially since the last decade has been so tough for them, I think that they are very vulnerable this year. And I think Inter's done very well to keep hold of Lautaro Martinez. So far, Milan Skriniar is staying, even though PSG are desperate for him. They've kept Bastoni, they've kept that core of that team, and brought Lukaku back. I think they're doing really strong. Juventus, I'm really unsure about, because that Di Maria signing for me is really high risk, high reward. If he comes in form and he's fits comfortably, that's great.
He's an inconsistent player,
and at his age as well, mate. Yeah. So honestly, I could see Roma. They got a pretty good striker right now in Tammy Abraham already. Scored over 20 goals last season without a creative player like Dybala. I think for them to win, they would need Dybala to play at his best. He would need to be the best player in Serie A again.
I don't think Milan wins it.
No, I was going to say
this
something.
year. So Milan relinquishes the title.
Who's your pick?
Hey, from what I seen last year, I would have to say it would be Inter.
I agree. My tip is Inter with, I'm going to Milan will finish fourth.
Fourth. Wow, that's a big drop.
Second and third between Roma and Juve.
Wow, that's a massive call, mate. I'm picking Inter, but I'm picking Milan second.
Okay.
Juve third, and Roma fourth.
So all three of us, Inter.
Yeah, I think Inter will win it.
How
But
much
I would say Roma give it a good shake. Maybe not consistent enough throughout the duration of the season, but probably make Champions League.
We'll see where we're obviously recording, so we'll go back to it in 12 months' time
Is
or
this recording?
10 months' time. I hope so. All right. Any other, before we get into the Premier League, any other leagues that you want to touch on? The Scottish with the Celtic Aussies.
Yeah, the Scottish League started. This just past weekend.
Rogic, Moy,
Celtic played their
Postecoglou.
first game 1-2-0. Postecoglou obviously is a strong Aussie contingent there, and Aaron Moy's signed. Rogic has left.
Where's he gone to?
We don't know, personal reasons.
Where's
There's,
he?
there's a lot of rumors.
So no one
swirling.
knows where he's going.
No, a lot of rumors swirling around what's going on with him in his personal life, and I don't know what. So it's a bit under a cloud at the moment. He was seen at an airport, I think, back in Australia, but I don't know what he was doing. Which is a shame. I thought he was doing really well. And was really just a staple there at Celtic. But, you know, Postecoglou is recruited now. He's brought in Aaron Moy, bit of a different player, but still in that midfield, you know, creative role. So it'd be nice to see that Aussie connection still going on there. Credit to Postecoglou, he's done really well. He's getting a lot of attention from England as well. I think that'll be his next move.
Interesting.
I think a couple of seasons at Celtic, maybe one more after this, if he does well, and he's getting poached.
That'd be good for the Aussies, the Aussie market, the Aussie football.
absolutely.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah,
Absolutely.
feather in his cap.
So Celtic will take the title from Rangers.
I don't see Rangers really doing it this year again. I think Celtic retains it. I think Postecoglou will build on what he's got. He's a very smart manager, and he would have started working on doing that again the day that it finished. He's not the kind of person that would rest on his laurels and be like, you know, I did it. That's it.
Let's jump to the Premier League, unless you got something else.
Liga 1, just quickly, I think, you know,
PSG, I
PSG.
think. PSG, the same as I also say Dutch league, but
Yeah.
Ajax. I can't see anyone else,
No, not
challenging
really.
either.
No, unfortunately not.
especially
Here's the problem.
the French.
This is the problem. It feels like these, you know, top one or two teams just create such a big gap that the rest aren't able. And it takes a long time, as we saw with the Serie A, how long it takes for that balance or challenge to come back in. And it's disappointing because it takes, you know, in the case of Serie A, a decade almost for it to become, for the guard to change, so to speak.
I
Like,
suppose so.
Now, when you look at Liga and you think, when's someone going to take it from PSG again?
Well, I mean, someone did 2 years ago with
Yeah.
Lille,
Mhm.
but yeah, I know.
But
I know
that's,
what you
but that's
mean.
an
Like,
anomaly.
it's-
When you look
yeah.
at it, you say that's the anomaly.
And that's the issue. And Lille has gotten, you know, pulled apart with all their talent going to different places,
So
etc.
that's the risk. That's the risk of winning the league.
Yeah,
That happened to Leicester, remember?
That's right. Everyone looks at it and think, oh, great, let's take it.
Kante, Mahrez.
And because you're a smallish club, you can't afford to. These players' eyes are going to get turned by money, by lucrative contracts. They're going to say, yeah, I'm off.
One thing interesting about Ligue 1 though is apparently Lyon got bought by a private company. So it's another club that's become privatized from an international corporation willing to inject significant funds.
We'll see how that goes.
So,
If
yeah,
it changes
so-
anything. All right, let's jump into the Premier League. A lot of discussion around some teams who could be dark horses.
Dark horse.
The first top six can be a little bit unpredictable for some people. Interesting transfer windows for some clubs. The case of Cristiano, who wanted to leave, he looks like he's stuck there.
Looks like he's not leaving because nothing came in, not because he decided
To stay. Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. Could be wrong, but
Look,
He
everyone
used to
knows.
be like-
Everyone knows that he wants to play Champions League, and obviously, Man United are not doing that. So it looks like he's staying by a lack of options more than a desire to stay at Man United.
do you
We'll
think
see.
this will be his last season
At Man United,
in his career?
no,
How many seasons do you think he has left?
he'll play until 41.
You reckon?
Yeah, I agree.
Another 3 years.
Yeah, the physical shape he's in. And he can go to the MLS, he can go anywhere else.
Would he
and
want to go there though?
Look at Zlatan.
I'd be very surprised though. I'd be very surprised if he never played even one game in the MLS. Because
Wow.
Cristiano Ronaldo, just one part of him is definitely about the ambition, it's about the winning, it's about success, but the other part's the brand, and he cares about his brand and he cares about that image. And playing one season for, let's say, LA Galaxy, it'd be massive for his brand. I mean, there was talk a few years ago about him having dreams about breaking into Hollywood. So he certainly has the ego for it. He certainly thinks highly of himself as for it.
There was rumours of him after this season going back to Sporting.
Yeah, I could see that too.
For a
I can see
season.
that. That makes sense to me. Go back one more season, same as Suarez.
Suarez
Go back to Nacional.
went back to Nacional. Got officially presented this morning.
Yeah.
It's only for 6 months. It's only into the World Cup, so less than 6 months. And there's rumours of him going to the MLS in January.
It doesn't matter, but the token, I'll go back to the club where I started, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it because I'd rather a player go and end like that because you're not expected to anything, but it's just more of a goodwill gesture, to thank the club where you came through and made it professionally, rather than just try and chase money to the death.
It'd be interesting though if it all happens like the rumours say. Suarez to the MLS, Cristiano MLS, Messi MLS. Well done to the US if that
if that comes to
comes
fruition, absolutely, yeah.
I think someone lands that into Miami, definitely. Got the Beckham factor there, and they'll be throwing a lot of money in the lifestyle at Miami there. So
Well, the
a lot
rumor
of players would love that.
is that they offered Messi shares into Miami itself.
Mm.
He goes on holidays to Miami. Higuain is there now. It's got
Makes
a hat trick.
sense,
Higuain yesterday.
Only like 10 minutes to fucking Mexico, same shit.
Miami
Well,
and Mexico, same shit.
So
Yeah,
they'll
South
speak
America
Spanish
and
and shit.
Mexico, same shit.
They speak Spanish there and shit. There's heaps of Mexicans in Miami.
If that was the case, can you tell the Arabs because they've been fighting each other for the last 100 years.
They're close there. That's why he goes there, because they all speak Spanish. He doesn't know what is he going to talk when he goes there. Let's talk
Anyway,
some
so
Spanish
we went
cunts.
to the Premier League.
He likes the Cuban food.
What are your predictions for let's start with Liverpool. How will Liverpool go into pen out this year? What do you think, Fatty?
It's going to be interesting. Mane is a loss more than people want to accept.
Yeah,
more than people
100%.
want to acknowledge, I think.
Totally agree.
Especially Liverpool supporters. He's a big loss to them. We discussed this before. If they lost Mane and Salah in the same window, it would have been catastrophic. They would have struggled to make top four, I believe. But they'll be up there again. They'll be challenging. I don't think they'll have enough to get over the line. I don't know about Nunez. Like, okay, they won the Community Shield and everyone's fucking having a bat over him. Like, big fucking deal. It's a game that no one really gives a fuck about. They're saying, oh, look, they smashed Man City 3-1 and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, Haaland didn't do anything. And I'm like, relax. Like, they're still feeling it. It's a long season. It's 38 games. It's not fucking one game. It's not a cup final. So, I don't know. Look, they'll be there. They'll be challenging.
Top three?
Yeah, easily top three, comfortably.
The club factor, obviously, that gives a momentum, continuity. There's a base.
100%.
So
He's
he's-
experienced.
yeah.
He knows what he's doing. They've done it before. They've done it in the Champions League. They've got a good core squad there. Everyone knows their role. There's no disharmony. Fuck, Johnny, your fucking phone's going off.
Everyone's listening to us. Don't trust them.
There's
You
not.
didn't understand, Fatty.
After the Salah, Mane sort of thing, everything seems to have settled down a bit. I think they're sort of focusing on the season now, so they'll have a good year.
Man City winner? It's tough, isn't it? It's not
It's
as
a
easy.
lot-
It's not a...
You know what? This season is a lot harder than the last two.
Yeah.
The last two I could have said, yeah, City, Liverpool. You would have been between those two. You would have discarded the rest as, yeah, third, fourth, maybe. This season, I think there's a bit more of a shake-up, and I don't think it's coming from Chelsea.
So
I
where
think
is it coming from?
I'll be surprised if Chelsea finish top four, top
Look,
five.
Chelsea I would say, in Europe, Chelsea would have had the poorest transfer window in Europe, comfortably.
Considering the players they lost.
Every target that they had, they missed out on. Either went to Barcelona or fucking decided not to come or whatever the case was. A lot of their targets failed to come. Tuchel's been very vocal about players not wanting to be there, and he's disappointed and the lack of effort and whatnot. He's come out and said a few things in the media. That already is showing me a lack of harmony there in that dressing room.
Yeah.
Mate, I don't know. I think they'll struggle this year. I think Chelsea will definitely struggle to make the 4.
For the sake of English football, and you're going to agree with half of this statement, I hope both Arsenal and Tottenham do well.
Half of this statement. Tottenham will do well based on the signings, based on the manager they've got. They've recruited really well. They've made some great signings.
Could they challenge the title?
No.
All right, take your biased point of view. Could they challenge the title?
No. Because at the end of the day, they are Tottenham. And they bottle it. At the end of the day, they'll bottle it.
Because of club culture, they cannot.
Mate, they could be. All they need to do is draw, and they'll end up losing by 1 goal or something. It'll just be fucking some bullshit.
That's
like
challenging the title.
But they'll still lose. They won't win it.
I didn't say win it. Would they challenge it? Will they finish top 3?
Technically, they challenged last season. Same shit.
Will Tottenham finish top 3?
God.
No.
Okay.
Will Tottenham finish above Arsenal?
No.
Arsenal might surprise us. Arsenal might do well.
Tottenham won't finish top 3, and Tottenham won't finish above Arsenal this year.
Okay. Big
With the
statements,
squad
big
that they
predictions.
had last year, right? Compared to Arsenal's squad, all youngsters, the uncertainty with Arteta coming in, and they barely just got 4th. I don't think they do it this year.
Like any.
To be honest, I think it's really interesting that Fatty, you seem a little less confident that this year compared to last year's of who might win. Because to me, I think it's another Man City win. I think the interesting race is who goes from 6th to 2nd. I agree with you about Darwin Núñez. I'm not exactly sold on him. He's seems to have a bit of an odd fit in the number 9 role and as a left winger. He doesn't seem to fit both either one perfectly. So I think there's going to be a lot of growing to do. However, at the same time, I guess I suppose if Salah goes on a massive run, then anything's possible. Man United, I think, have not had a very good transfer window. I think there's a lot of question marks there. Eric Ten Hag is a coach that plays with a very specific style, and he asks a lot from his players.
So even though they won the Bangkok Cup and they beat Melbourne Victory, you still don't give them a chance.
No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Wow.
I apologize, Man United fans. But yeah, no. I'm thinking they're going to really struggle. I think I think maybe 4th.
So let's be brave here. Let's name from 1 to 6 the top 6 finish in England. Have a think about it. It's a tough one. I'm a bit stuck myself.
As much as I would like to say that I would change the top 2, it's going to be very hard to, my heart says something, but my mind will say it's got to be City and Liverpool 1 and 2. Very hard to go past that. I would go out on a limb though and say Arsenal make Champions League this year. If they go on a good run, they could push 3rd.
They might top 3.
That they could push 3rd, purely because Arteta's been very, very clever in the off-season with signings. He's recruited really well. He's recruited players that are going to play for the team. What I've seen, forget about the fact what they're winning and whatnot, the way that they're playing in off-season, in the friendlies, there's a good camaraderie there in the team, which has been lacking since, I'm talking the Invincible days, where players really wanted to play together. They wanted to play for the jersey. They wanted to play. They were happy with the players they were at. Jesus seems to have hit the ground running. He seems to have forming good partnerships with, the Martinelli, the Sakas, the other forward players. People seem to be moving and understanding where they need to be. That's going to be very crucial because those early games, they're going to pick up points where you're still trying to find your feet. If they've already found that now, I think they're going to pick up early points that they're going to give you. That's going to give you an extra 10 points by the end of the season. It's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. If Arsenal can't make Champions League this season, forget it. They ain't going to make it again.
They're my top 3 as well. Man City to win it, Liverpool
Really?
2nd, Arsenal, Tottenham 3rd and 4th. I'm going to go on a limb and say Arsenal 3rd.
Okay, yeah.
Tottenham 4th, Chelsea 5th, Man United 6th.
Honestly, I totally agree. It's a bit funny for
What's
once, but
going
yeah,
on?
absolutely. I would flip a coin with Arsenal and Tottenham 3 and 4, but I think Chelsea and Man United 5 and 6. I think though the only question mark when it comes to who's winning in Man City is I do have question marks over Haaland. I think he's getting slightly overrated. So yeah, I see him.
But I mean, like Man City won the league and challenged the Champions League without Haaland.
Exactly. So that's why
he can only add to the team without taking
not
too much away.
Well, I mean, yeah, yes and no.
Could detract because there could be an extra
Because they're trying to push him
extra
in.
expectation there and expect him to do something.
But I feel like Guardiola's smart enough to, unless he's egotistical, to like push him in there because he bought him. But if it's not working, you either take him out or use him differently.
But let me ask you this, okay? I was reading today about Grealish, and there's obviously a lot of criticism with $100 million player and what his return on that investment has been.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been poor. I think it's been absolutely poor. A lot of people are saying that the way he's going, or opinion out there, is that he's not. If they were rating him out of a 10, they'd give him a 6 out of 10 currently, and that he might risk being loaned out or whatnot. I don't know how bad it is in that regard. I don't think he's achieved well enough at all.
Grealish,
No, I don't know if Guardiola would accept that or he'd leave.
But
him.
with 100 million be footballing price or marketing included? Because he's a popular character, he sold jerseys, the fans love him. It's a figure.
But would Guardiola say, "Hey, you know what? Because everyone likes you, I'm just gonna fucking let you."
I also think that we need to start redefining how much the value or expectation placed on 100 million euro players these days. I think more and more often you're seeing that price tag being thrown around. I think clubs with more money than sense, Man City, do that often. Haaland was only like 75, but that's because of a clause in his contract with Dortmund. If that clause didn't exist, then 100% it would have been 150. Which
he would have been over 100, sure.
Yeah, and to me, I don't think that he will
not
live up to that value,
no.
honestly. So I think there's many players. Hazard, there's many players that hit that 100 million mark that aren't what we used to think. Dembele, Coutinho, they don't hit that mark anymore. I think that 100 million was that golden thing when Zinedine Zidane hit it originally, and Luis Figo and all that, and R9, and then Cristiano Ronaldo, etc. So I do think that they bought Jack Grealish for his potential, what he could become. Once again, I'm not saying he will develop into that. Like, I'm not saying that he is still on his way there, or he'll come good, buddy. I'm saying that they looked at it as an investment. It was more about keeping other clubs away from what could possibly be a superstar English player, rather than...
Yeah, but in saying that as well, there's also some level of expectation from the fans, right? When you bring in such a high-profile player,
yeah, that's fair.
There's got to be some... You can't just say, hey, you know what? We just did it for these...
True, that's fair, but there is that pragmatic, cynical side of football, isn't it? Where, and we've seen in Bayern Munich and Juventus do it all the time, where if they're German, Italian, or English, then one of those two clubs are going to buy the player just for the mere chance they become a top level player in that league.
But from a business point of view as well, $100 million, you look at the return on investment, not just footballing wise, but overall. And Grealish may have done that for the club. Like I said, he's a popular player. Fans love him. Jersey sales, whatever he brings in as a product, may be worth being that token English player that everyone loves. I mean, look at Dybala, for example. He beat the record, Cristiano's record on jersey sales on the first week, whatever it was.
So it goes to show how far the name value brings. We
don't know exactly what clubs are looking at in regards to value, not just how many goals you score, but how much money can you bring into the club. Someone like Messi, someone like Cristiano, they're a different value, not because of how old they are now, but
it's a very good point. But yeah, I still agree with Fatty that he's not lived up to the top, 100%. To the hype. And I think that, like what you're saying, Johnny, while that has a lot of value and it's very valid, there is also the other side of the coin where if he disappoints the way he has, like Fatty's saying, then that popularity will start to go down. The media will start to pick on his flaws, and all of a sudden that popular player that there's a risk there.
But it's funny you say that to me, you're going to pick on him, because so far they haven't. Because he's English.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's English.
He's got that patience. If he was another
100%, they would have torn him to shreds. Plus, you're coming up to a World Cup. It's a World Cup.
Speaking of English, Sterling to Chelsea. We didn't mention.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't mention that one. That was a bit subdued, that transfer, for some reason. It didn't make as big of a splash as I felt it should have.
Is it because, and you guys would know more than me with the Premier League, is Raheem Sterling considered that top level player?
I believe he is. I believe he's a little bit underrated.
Is that because he started his career at Arsenal? No, it was Liverpool. Sorry,
Liverpool. I feel like he's a little underrated. He's younger than a lot of people believe. People,
27, 28?
yeah, people think he's in his 30s. He's not. He's still got, a few
Yeah,
prime
yeah.
years to go.
Has he had any serious injury, or like what is it that his stock
because
has
because he
has
wasn't.
just decided to go down a bit?
It came to a point where he wasn't a starter in Man City, and that's the issue. But whenever he came on, he assisted or he scored or he did something. Same as
Yes,
Jesus.
yes.
Same as Jesus, right?
It's that
Jesus-
Man City
that's
factor,
right.
isn't it?
That's right.
Overload of talent,
Correct.
never really getting much opportunity to stay in the team for like 5, 10, 15 games or whatever. And you understand, like with Bernardo Silva, when Bernardo Silva went there from
That's right.
from Monaco, he kind of just faded into the background for what 2-3 years, and it's only in the last year or two that he's come good into the starting lineup.
That's the same with Sterling with England. He was always there. People say, "Oh, Sterling," but he always popped up with an assist, a goal. Doesn't matter if it was scrappy or whatever, but he was always there or thereabouts. He's that kind of player. I feel he'll do well for Chelsea, but Chelsea's just missing a little bit more in other areas of the pitch. I don't think it's enough for them. So,
Any surprise teams in the Premier League? Any Crystal Palaces?
look,
Newcastle's,
I
Leicester's.
think Villa will do well this year. They'll push for an 8, 7 sort of berth. Gerrard's got him really well drilled. Coutinho's, he's building his team around
Surprise and all
Coutinho.
that?
Coutinho's doing well. He seems happy where he is. He's kind of the main man again.
They've got the best goalkeeper in the league.
Let's just disregard that. But anyway,
Awkward, man.
yeah. But I think Villa will be one of those teams. I don't know about the rest.
I
Look,
agree,
Leeds. I would like Leeds to be there or thereabouts.
But
I
they
just
got
feel like-
pulled apart a little bit.
Yeah,
Calvin
they got-
Phillips gone, Rafinha
That's
gone.
right. They got pulled apart. So I think they'll struggle to, if they stay in the league for another year, it'll be an achievement for them. The rest, it's pretty much the same. Everton again, they've got a lot of rebuilding to do. Lampard's got a lot of.
That's
work
right.
to do.
Richarlison went to Tottenham.
Sorry,
Richarlison
That's
to
right.
Tottenham.
that's right. They signed some of the black cunt. I don't know.
I'll put Villa at 7th.
Yeah, Villa,
Hopefully at 6th and Man United at 7th.
Villa comfortably in the top 10. Comfortably. I'll be surprised if
fair
they
enough.
don't make it.
I'd like to see what Newcastle can do.
been a
Their
quiet-
resurgence. It
Yeah.
has been very quiet.
Very
though.
quiet on the
Yeah.
transfer front. I thought there'd be this offseason.
At least 1 or 2 moves that made the front page. It's a bit of a
Yeah,
splash. I tried
because-
looking just now before because I was like, what are we seeing from this
And the
club?
season's starting in a couple of days. There's
Yeah,
not much.
the takeover happened during last season, so we thought, okay, when it gets to off season, they'll really make a splash in
Yeah,
the market.
100%. And
It's been very, very quiet.
they made some moves in the January window.
Mm-hmm.
They were facing relegation. They made a
Yeah.
resurgence to mid-table.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity to make a real solid investment to improve on that. If they could hit 8th place in this next season, and then you never know, right?
Yeah, I think watch this space the next 2-3 years. I think it's gonna they become.
I think the Khaldoon bin Hamid said, enough for this year, next year more money.
In that accent. Any last comments
Probably
before
like
you go?
that.
No, not really.
We'll do another episode on Champions League when it's
Okay.
close to get started.
When Adas is here, his baby
Who?
Champions League. Araf, disregard that. Delete that.
Um,
Edit it out.
Any last predictions? Any last surprise relegations or anything like that?
No, not relegation so much. No, like not really. I'm excited to see what the season's gonna hold, and then the break of the World Cup. I think that might be something we underrated in this conversation. I think that this could be a massive spanner in the works, and we'll see something really change.
That's true.
So forgive us if our predictions are wrong. But yeah,
Don't forgive us.
No.
Be harsh.
I agree. That's gonna be very interesting because it throws in the middle of the season.
it's gonna be
Middle.
massive. It's
It's-
unprecedented,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That's
It's
right.
Never.
First time.
So we have no idea what's going to happen after this. And
And
sorry, Fadi, but the impact of that into the January transfer window.
True.
You know what's going to be crazy? Because England, for example, doesn't have a winter break. The Premier League plays right through,
Yeah,
and they have a lot of games in that Christmas Boxing Day period. It's traditionally a
Heavy
yeah.
fixture.
You play 3-4 games a week, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always where teams break away because you pick up a lot of points or you drop a lot of points,
and that harsh winter
and that's
Yeah.
going to come. That's going to come straight off
right
the back
after.
of
Yeah,
the
World
World
Cup.
Cup. It's going to be very interesting. Some of the big teams are either going to struggle because they're going to miss players and they're going to drop a lot of points. It's going to open up the league.
And
Or-
you're thinking league, and I'm thinking next time we talk, I think that's going to be a massive point for Champions League predictions.
We'll see how the
I can't
we'll
see
see how
how
the Champions League fixtures play out. I haven't seen the schedule on
Yeah, of course. but
unless
I can
they
imagine
finish the group stage before the Champions League starts,
before the World Cup starts.
before the World Cup
Yeah, yeah.
starts, and then they
Right.
resume. I don't
Wow.
know.
I reckon they'll hold. They won't try
Far
and run
out.
through. Yeah, it's
But
a
if they
fuck
do
up.
that, man, you're pushing all those fixtures right before the World Cup.
It's their fault
But
for
it-
fucking hosting in
Doing it in the
Qatar in
first place,
December.
yeah, 100%. But so this is going to be really interesting. I think Champions League, Premier League is going to get really screwed over, unfortunately, for it.
Yeah.
That's 75, guys. Next week,
Yeah.
hopefully, Darcy comes back and doesn't dog us. Akram is very upset. So
I'm not a Darcy man. We'll see you soon.
Liar.
Guys, gaslighting fucks over here. Don't worry. Don't.
Yeah.
we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.